Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Live at 4 on this Tuesday. We're going to be cooking today.
That's right. Angie Horkin from the Wisconsin Beef Council is here. How is your New Year's resolution doing about now to eat healthier?
Oh, I always eat healthy.
That wasn't your resolution?
No.
Oh, I thought it was.
No, I think a lot of people have that, though, and by the 15th of January, they might be slipping a little bit. This will help you get back on track.
She has some great recipes.
That's coming up. But first, here's what's making news on this Tuesday. Police are looking for a 68-year-old man they believe is a suspect in a murder at a Lake Delton casino.
The president invites Democrats for lunch at the White House, hoping for a compromise on the shutdown, but he didn't get one.
And we say farewell to one of Broadway's brightest stars. So long, Dolly.
Let's take a look outside this afternoon. Boy, it was a little raw and blustery today.
Another great day, like 4 or 5 in a row here. A little drizzle. Some schools were delayed this morning, but warmed up a little bit. However, it's going to be, that's a great shot. It's going to be slightly more seasonal, and I bet that means cooler. Dana is in the backyard.
Yes, it does mean cooler. Even right now, it's already getting just a little more windy. We have another cold front approaching with that front. Make it a little gusty for us at times, but it's cold outside. Looking at our Doppler track, overall things seem fairly quiet in the central area of the state. Of course, we did have some freezing rain early this morning. Some schools were delayed. We may see some patchy freezing drizzle tonight. Not a major concern, but it is something that may pop up. Looking at our high-resolution Doppler right now, I'm not seeing anything for us currently. Not ruling out, though, again, seeing some freezing drizzle over the next few hours. Right now, it is 30 in Madison and in Janesville. That breeze, though, coming from the southwest at about 6 miles an hour for us in Madison, closer to 15, though, in Janesville and 16 in Platteville. That puts our wind chill a little cooler than where our actual temperatures are at. It feels closer to 24 right now in Madison and 23 in Lone Rock. Over the next few hours, our temperatures, of course, are going to drop. We're actually going to become partly cloudy, though, for us overnight, so our sky condition will improve just a little bit. Tomorrow, we'll get the sun back in the forecast. I know Mark's not happy that we had a few gray days in a row. We'll have sun in the afternoon and highs close to 30, so a little closer to average compared to where we were at today. We'll talk a little more about what's ahead for this weekend and maybe some snow in just a few minutes. On the roads right now, though, we're looking at the Beltline right at Park Street, and both east and westbound on the Beltline actually rolling along pretty smooth. Good news there. Along 39, we are seeing a lot of green as well in downtown Madison. I'm not really seeing any major delays. Towards Middleton, we do have a little bit of traffic there heading towards the Beltline. And Verona also seeing a little bit of just minor downtown traffic traveling towards Baraboo, Portage, or even into Lone Rock on 14, 12, and 51. All speeds seem to be just fine, exactly where we'd like him to see. No accidents to report right now, and your drive times from Janesville to the Beltline will be close to 26 minutes, 16 minutes from Middleton to Sauk City, and 18 from downtown up to Sun Prairie, North Mountain. Average speed there, just updating 32 miles an hour. Unfortunately, the time going down, though. So your drive should be fairly smooth. It's just a little cool outside and a little breezy for us right now. But yes, we may see some snow at the end of the week. We'll talk about that in just a few.
And a little sun tomorrow would be nice.
Yeah, that'd be
things
great.
up. All right, Dana, we'll see you in a few minutes.
Thank you, Dana. First at 4, authorities are on the hunt for a homicide suspect.
They believe 68-year-old Robert Pulvermacher is responsible for a death in the town of Delton. Our Keely Arthur joins us live and shares how you can help law enforcement. Keely.
Well, police have yet to release the name of the victim. They say they found a man here dead at this Ho-Chunk Casino parking lot in the town of Delton. Now, the Sauk County Sheriff's Department is looking for this man, 68-year-old Robert Pulvermacher. He is the suspect in this case. They're also looking for a person of interest, another younger man. Authorities have released this photo of him, but say they don't know his identity. News 3 was on the scene last night, the day the body was found in the parking lot. They say the suspect, Pulvermacher, is known to frequent casinos.
Efforts to locate the suspect at this point have been unsuccessful. He is said to frequent casinos in the Madison and Baraboo area, and he regularly playing table games such as blackjack.
Paul Vermacher is currently on community supervision with the Wisconsin Department of Corrections. He's been convicted of burglary in the past. A warrant has been issued for his arrest. Now, as for the victim, little details are known right now. The name has not been released out of respect for the family. The family reported him missing on Monday. They said they hadn't seen him since Sunday. He was reported missing at around 11 a.m. and deputies found his body here at 1 p.m. yesterday. Back to you.
Keely Arthur reporting live. Keely, thank you.
The man accused of kidnapping 13-year-old Jamie Kloss and killing her parents has been transferred to a different jail. Jake Thomas Patterson had been held at the Barron County Jail since his arrest Thursday. Barron County Sheriff Chris Fitzgerald says he moved Patterson to adjoining Polk County Monday night. Fitzgerald confirmed that one of Jamie's relatives works at the Barron County facility, but he called the transfer, quote, an administrative decision and said no one threatened Patterson. Prosecutors have charged a Milwaukee County resident after human remains were found in a burn pit.
That burn pit was in Walworth County last Thursday. Eric Franke is in the newsroom with more details on today's developments. Eric?
Susan, Mark, 43-year-old Matthew Newman is a small business owner from the Milwaukee suburb of Franklin. He has been charged in this case. You'll recall our reports last Thursday of that massive police presence near East Troy in Walworth County. The criminal complaint says 2 bodies were found in a burn pit on that property that Newman had leased for hunting. Girlfriends of 2 men who had worked for Newman in a cleaning business in the Milwaukee area reported their boyfriends missing earlier this month. And again, police found 2 charred bodies in that burn pit. They've yet to be identified, but they are said to be 2 men between the ages of 23 and 41. Now, the criminal complaint also says a witness saw what appeared to be an individual slumped down in the passenger seat of Newman's truck back on the morning of January 2nd. Prosecutors also say there is some surveillance video of Newman buying lighter fluid and charcoal at a Home Depot store a day later, and he is now facing charges of reckless homicide and party to the crime of hiding a corpse. He'll be back in court a week from tomorrow. Mark, Susan?
Eric Franke live in the newsroom. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Questions about the special counsel's Russia investigation dominated the first day of Senate confirmation hearings for Attorney General nominee William Barr. Barr is President Trump's pick to replace Jeff Sessions, who recused himself from overseeing the probe. Mola Lengi reports from Capitol Hill.
I do. Attorney General nominee William Barr faced the Senate Judiciary Committee and lots of questions about special counsel Robert Mueller's investigation into Russian meddling in the 2016 election.
Will you commit to making any report Mueller produces at the conclusion of his investigation available to Congress and to the public?
I am going to make as much information available as I can.
Are there any circumstances that would cause you to terminate the investigation?
Right now, the overarching public interest is to allow him to finish.
Is Putin a friend or a foe?
I think the Russians are a potent rival.
Barr contradicted President Trump's frequent characterization of the Russia investigation.
Do you believe Mr. Mueller would be involved in a witch hunt?
I don't believe Mr. Mueller would be involved in a witch hunt.
Barr also promised he would not be bullied into doing anything wrong.
If I was ever asked to do something that I thought was unlawful and directed to do that, I wouldn't do it, and I would resign rather than do it.
Barr backed up the president when asked about immigration and the border wall. He said he hopes a deal can be reached to end the partial government shutdown.
It's imperative to have border security, and that part of that border security, as a common sense matter, needs barriers.
Barr previously served as Attorney General under former President George H.W. Bush. When asked why he wanted the job, he said he loves the department and wants to protect its independence. Mola Lengi, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
A second panel of witnesses will testify tomorrow before the Senate Judiciary Committee regarding Barr's nomination. If Barr passes a vote by the committee, he will face a full Senate vote in the coming weeks.
And the longest government shutdown in U.S. history has now entered day 25. President Trump says he is not backing down and is calling on Democrats to stop playing politics. Nicole Killian has the latest on this from the White House.
House Republicans emerged from a White House meeting with President Trump, bashing their Democratic colleagues.
This was supposed to be a bipartisan lunch, but not a single Democrat offered to come here and negotiate how we end this partial shutdown.
Hoping to bypass Speaker Nancy Pelosi, the president invited several moderate House Democrats to the lunch, but none were in attendance.
We want to work with rank-and-file Democrats. Obviously, what we're seeing right now is that Speaker Pelosi has refused to provide a counteroffer.
Earlier, Mr. Trump tweeted, "Why is Nancy Pelosi getting paid when people who are working are not?" President Trump is vowing to keep up the fight until he gets $5.7 billion in funding for the border wall, despite hundreds of thousands of federal workers not getting paid. In a letter to Mr. Trump, several Senate Democrats urged the president to meet with federal workers impacted by the shutdown and called on him to bring it to an end.
The American people suffering the dire consequences of the shutdown can no longer afford to wait for the president to come around.
But Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell says Democrats have a choice to make.
They could stand with common sense, with border experts, with federal workers, or they could continue to remain passive spectators.
Congress is expected to cancel next week's recess if the government is still shut down. In Washington, Nicole Killian for WISC News 3.
Islamic militants unleashed a terror attack at an upscale hotel in Kenya's capital city of Nairobi. A car bomb burned outside the gate of the Nairobi hotel as explosions and gunfire crackled through the complex. Kenyan security forces rushed people from the scene while gunmen continued shooting. The Somali militant group Al-Shabaab has claimed responsibility.
I kept on praying. And God has saved me, but I'm so terrified.
The attack comes 3 years to the day the same group launched a deadly assault on a Kenyan military base in neighboring Somalia. Al-Shabaab has vowed retribution against Kenya for sending troops to Somalia since 2011.
Democratic Governor Tony Evers told Republicans in a closed-door Capitol meeting this morning that he will push for accepting a federal Medicaid expansion, even though GOP leaders said the issue was a non-starter for them. The governor's office also said it's looking into a lawsuit filed in Dunn County Court today by two owners of wedding barns. They're seeking to ensure that they don't need to obtain liquor licenses in order to hold private parties where alcohol is served. Then Attorney General Brad Schimmel said in November private events held in public spaces required liquor licenses. And Evers' spokeswoman says incoming Revenue Secretary Peter Barca and the governor were, quote, still learning more about this issue.
Police in Mankato, Minnesota say a toddler is okay after falling out of the car while strapped into a car seat. Dashcam video of the 2-year-old girl falling from the vehicle was recorded by a driver who was behind the car. That driver is seen rushing over to help, stopping traffic to attend to the little girl. Police say she was properly fastened inside the car seat, but the seat was not adequately attached to the car. The mother didn't immediately notice that her daughter had fallen out of the car. She drove at least a few more blocks before realizing the little girl was not in the back seat. But luckily, the child was not injured.
Yeah, that is lucky indeed. Well, we are noting the passing today of Carol Channing.
The musical comedy star delighted American audiences for over almost 5,000 performances as the scheming Dolly in Hello, Dolly on Broadway and beyond. Besides Hello, Dolly, Channing often appeared on television and in nightclubs, for a time partnering with George Burns in Las Vegas and a national tour. Over the years, Channing continued as Dolly in national tours. The last was in 1996 when she was in her 70s. Tom Shales of the Washington Post called her the 9th wonder of the world. Carol Channing was 97 years old.
She was amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. A real story of survival in the city of Riverside near Los Angeles.
Animal Services rescued a dog from a canal in that city. After pulling it to safety, they read the microchip and found the owner. It turns out the dog has been missing for 9 years. It'll be reunited with its owner tomorrow.
Boy, that stresses the importance of microchips.
9 years.
Easily done, and they're inexpensive.
That's right, $25 is all it takes.
Wow. Well, still to come tonight at 4, it was an event that captivated the nation. 10 years ago today, a commercial airliner landed on the Hudson River in New York.
Miraculously, no one died. We'll talk to survivors of that miracle who say that day still haunts them. That's when Live at 4 continues. A key vote today and a crushing defeat for British Prime Minister Theresa May on England's plan to leave the European Union.
Parliament overwhelmingly voted against Theresa May's Brexit deal. The UK voted in June of 2016 to leave the EU by a slim margin of 52 to 48%. The future is uncertain now as the March 29th deadline for leaving the European Union looms ever closer. May spent 2 years negotiating with EU leaders in Brussels, but faced heavy criticism when she brought her proposal to Parliament last summer.
Stocks were back in positive territory today, thanks in part to Netflix, which announced it's raising fees for subscribers, what they have to pay. The Dow Industrials added 155 points, closing at 24,065. The Nasdaq Composite Index up 117. The S&P 500 gained 27. It is remembered as the, quote, miracle on the Hudson, and it happened 10 years ago today.
155 passengers and crew on a U.S. Airways flight survived a water landing in the icy Hudson River after a flock of geese struck the plane's engines. Pilot Sully Sullenberger, Chesley
Yes.
Sully Sullenberger was hailed a hero for successfully landing the crippled jet.
Randy Kay takes a look back at the miracle on the Hudson.
We've got some breaking news that's coming into us right now.
Just 3.5 minutes after the birds hit and the engines failed, 155 passengers and crew landed in the Hudson River.
Weren't you terrified? Did you hear him say brace for impact?
I heard the brace for impact. My heart was beating so loudly in my chest and through my ears. I couldn't hear. There was just this ringing in my ears.
Pam Siegel and Steve O'Brien were on board. We talked with them at Carolina's Aviation Museum in the shadow of their U.S. Airways jet.
So I was in 15C, which is about 4 down from the door right there on the aisle.
Steve and Pam first met when they both ended up in the freezing Hudson River.
I thought that we should just get away from the plane, that it could explode or sink.
Surveillance camera caught them swimming in the river. 10 years later, Pam still carries a photo of them.
It's a little tattered now after years, but it's one where that's Steve and I in the water.
To mark the 10-year anniversary, a group of passengers flew the same route from New York to Charlotte, all of them sitting in their original seats.
At 3:31 p.m., which was the moment of impact 10 years ago, we all got together in the center of the plane and had a toast.
Here's to life, 10 years later. Cheers. Cheers.
When they landed, a water cannon salute, and their captain, Chesley Sully Sullenberger, surprised them at the gate. Captain Sullenberger reflected on that day.
I've had 10 years to become even more grateful for what was accomplished that day. We were doing our jobs, but we did our jobs exceedingly well under very trying circumstances, perhaps better than could have been expected. So we have much to celebrate.
When Flight 1549 landed in the river a decade ago, passenger Eric Stevenson told CNN it was a miracle. Today, his appreciation for life has only grown.
One of the big lessons of the flight is just the beauty of relationships, friendships, people that are close to you, and not to get stressed on the little things in life, to try to make the most of the time that we have. And luckily, we've had 10 years gift following what happened on the Hudson.
For many in this group, there is life before Flight 1549 and after.
Did you feel any pressure, given what you had survived, to do something really important with your life?
I did. I mean, I think there's this moment where why am I here? I mean, you kind of question this. Okay, I was spared. I should have died. It should have gone a very different way. And what's my purpose?
Both Pam and Steve are filled with gratitude.
And what do you feel being so close to it now, Steve?
I like to come and touch it when I'm here. I just like to, I think it's good luck, and I like to thank it for saving us.
And surviving the flight was a life-changing experience for many on board the plane, giving them a new enthusiasm and new dreams.
I love how they're all still connected.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Isn't that neat that they still keep in touch? Some went on to climb mountains, others ran marathons, and still others actually learned to fly planes themselves. Roughly half of the passengers changed jobs, and nearly a quarter of them retired.
I don't know. It'd be tough for me to get on the same flight path.
I think if you were with everybody else, it would be different. And of course, you know, shout out to Jeff Skiles, the co-pilot, Oregon's very own.
Exactly. What a day that was.
10 years. I can't believe that much time has passed.
Amazing.
Yeah.
It's lucky they're alive. Well, still to come at 4, you wouldn't think teachers would encourage their students to play video games in class.
But some are. We find out why some classrooms are looking like an arcade and how it's actually improving teaching. That's coming up after Dana's First Alert forecast.
Take a look at this. A very unusual and impressive sight took shape in Maine. A nearly perfect disk of ice forming on a river in Westbrook, Maine. The massive ice disk drew curious onlookers to the banks of the river. It's not clear how or exactly when it formed. The disk is roughly 100 yards across and spinning in a counterclockwise direction.
I bet that is beautiful.
This
looks like
creeps me out.
Something to do with the current.
It looks like the moon, doesn't it?
It does.
It's like outer space.
That's very cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. Science is cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mother Nature is cool.
Yeah, science.
It is Tuesday, January 15th. It's National Hat Day.
That's perfect for a day like today. It's National Booch Day. It's a day to celebrate kombucha.
And last but not least...
You ever drink kombucha? Ooh.
What did Michelle Lee used to make? That cabbage thing?
No, that's kimchi.
Okay.
He tried.
I tried. It's a drink.
Right, kombucha is a drink.
Okay.
Yes.
No, I haven't.
All different flavors, too. And last but not least, it's National Strawberry Ice Cream Day. Now, this is a little different than National Ice Cream Day, which is celebrated in July. This one is just for strawberry ice cream, which dates back to at least 1813. Now, it supposedly was served at the second inauguration for our fourth president, James Madison.
And the city's named after him, so we should really celebrate.
Yes. Do we have strawberry ice cream?
No, we don't.
Dang it.
Our prop master is called in sick today.
Oh, okay. That would be it.
So we'll wait for ice cream day in July.
I'm never going to say no to ice cream.
No.
I'd say that's probably my favorite dessert.
I love ice cream.
Even on a day like today?
Oh, yeah.
Probably. I'm not going to say no. Right now it is cold outside. It's windy outside as well. We may see some snow by the end of the week. We'll take a look at your forecast right after the break. So I know most of us did have okay driving conditions this morning, but there were several schools that were delayed because of the freezing rain and some freezing drizzle. And we do still have a few winter weather advisories in effect, looking to the eastern side or western side of southern Wisconsin until midnight, and you go a little further north up towards Black River Falls and La Crosse. Those weather advisories, winter weather advisories, go until 9 o'clock this evening. Some of the rural routes, we saw some out of Dubuque area. They're still a little slick in some spots, and also concerns, of course, about some sidewalks if folks didn't get any ice or any salt down. So that's why those winter weather advisories are still in effect, again, extending until midnight and then until 9 o'clock if you go just a little further north. We may still see a few patchy freezing drizzle spots, but really not expecting too much to come through. Most of that concern, again, was just this morning. We do have some cooler air getting ready to move on in. Temperatures for the next few days will be a little cooler. And then as we head to the weekend, we may finally break our stretch of not seeing single digits for so long. we are looking at a very cold drop for us this weekend. Our Doppler track right now looks fairly calm. We're not picking up anything on our high-resolution Doppler radar, but again, may see, again, some patchy freezing drizzle spots, as we do have another front that's going to dive southeast. That front is going to bring another blast of cold air for the middle of the week, and get ready for our temps to drop by the weekend. Even though it feels so cold right now, we're actually just a few degrees warmer for us compared to this time yesterday, about a 3-degree jump in Madison. Not a huge difference, but the breeze picked up just a little more for us, so that wind factored in makes it feel just a little colder outside. Plan on a mostly cloudy sky for the next few hours. By Wednesday morning, though, we become partly cloudy, and throughout the day we'll actually get just a little bit of sunshine. It'll be a nice change of pace throughout the day. On Wednesday, we're looking at temperatures getting close to 30 for our afternoon highs. Clouds may be building back in as we get into Thursday morning, and we do have the slight chance to see some flurries for us on Thursday, especially early in the morning. Those flurries, of course, not really adding much to our snow depth for us in that central little line there, where we just don't have anything on the ground. There are a few frozen trunks. We still have half a snowman in the field next to us that Penny is not a fan of. But aside from that, there's just snow depth for us in Madison. But as we look towards Friday and Saturday, our models are bringing in our next opportunity to snow to start knocking on the door. Again, by Friday afternoon, looking at a mostly cloudy sky with the chance for some light snow and even flurries overnight. That snow sliding over us. We're looking at it stretching all the way through central Illinois up through Wisconsin, or through northern Wisconsin, through Saturday morning, and then gradually ending throughout the late morning for us on Saturday. So we may pick up just a little bit of snow to help chip away at the fact that we haven't had much so far this season. Downtown right now is fairly quiet. It's just a little breezy outside. Temperatures today got close to 30 for afternoon highs. We only got down to about 26 overnight, again with that cloudy sky overhead. Now that's where our afternoon highs should land. It should have been at 11 as far as your normals for us. So we are still just a little bit above average. Overnight tonight, we're only going to drop maybe a few more degrees from where we're at right now. Again, we're right at 30. 24 is what we're looking at. May see some patchy freezing drizzle, but that chance seems pretty slim for us. Our skies are going to slowly become partly cloudy. By tomorrow, we have a partly sunny sky. It is going to be a little cooler outside. Just going to expect those temperatures to stay close to 30 for us for afternoon highs. That breeze switching from the north to becoming a more southerly flow throughout the afternoon for our Wednesday. With the sunshine, might feel just a little better than what we have outside today. Slight chance for flurries early in the day on Thursday. Friday, that snow chance again coming in late and lingering into early Saturday morning. We may be seeing just a little light accumulation with that coming through for us for the weekend. And then it gets quite a bit colder. Look at temperatures to start off our Sunday and Monday. Heading into Martin Luther King Jr. Day on Monday, we could see quite a drop ahead for our forecast with the temperatures coming through. There's the words. Seeing single digits there. And again, we haven't been in the single digits for a hot minute.
Like 335 days.
At this point, yes. The last time we went this long, again, 1914 was the record for the latest that we went into winter without seeing single-degree temperatures, and that was January 11th. And
so we're past
that.
So your dog Penny doesn't like snowmen either.
Penny doesn't like snowmen at all.
Louis freaks out.
I can't figure out why. Why?
I don't know. Something different?
That makes sense to me. I don't
it's
know.
like a human that's not moving.
Not moving.
What's going on there?
She's gotten to the point where she'll bark and run up to it and lick it and then run away and bark again.
He does the kicking with the back legs, the aggression thing.
Getting riled up.
All right.
All right.
Enough dog tales. Thank you, Dana.
Yeah,
thank you, Dana. If you haven't been in a grade school classroom lately, it might seem more like an arcade than a classroom.
More and more technology is playing a role in teaching our young students.
Is it the same number? Yes.
These third graders are learning addition and subtraction.
How many ones do you need to regroup?
With an added feature.
You can have your prize now.
It brings in that flair and that, flash, but it really is so educational.
Patty Kurtz and other teachers at Walker Elementary School in West Dallas supplement their classwork with a digital math program called Dreambox,
Welcome to Dreambox Learning,
where the problems become more challenging.
It's fun to pack and unpack.
Dreambox is part of a vast array of apps, websites, and software increasingly being used in elementary and middle schools that bring gaming into the classroom.
I like it because it shows like it's math and a game.
We're going to have a stopwatch where we're going to work at level 0
In Atlanta, the Amana Academy is using a fantasy-themed program called Classcraft. It can be tailored to every grade and subject.
It changed it dramatically because it made me a participant with my students. I'm not just their teacher, I'm their game master. I control the fun of the classroom. I can change it up.
With each correct answer, students gain points that can be used for avatar upgrades, privileges like listening to music in class, and a competition against other classrooms. Barry Fishman, an expert in learning technology, says technology doesn't improve teaching or learning, but gaming can play a role in the classroom.
What makes the teaching good is not the game. What makes the teaching good is the teacher and the way they think about their students as learners and how they connect all the dots. And hopefully, if they're using a game or any other tool in their teaching, it supports them in accomplishing the goals they have for their students as learners.
Costs for such programs vary. Some charge per school, others per student. Both Classcraft and Dreambox provide analytics to track student performance to help teachers determine problem areas. Students say the gaming aspect helps alleviate academic stress.
With Classcraft, it doesn't make it seem like a big test, so you're less nervous and you're probably going to do better.
Modern bells and whistles to help students learn.
Look at
Boy, it's a different world, isn't it?
But they say if they're having fun, they don't even realize they're learning. You know what I mean? It's a good way to get them to learn.
Slates and sticks.
An abacus.
An abacus. That was it. That was our high tech.
Old school.
Coming up next, a key to staying youthful longer.
Excuse me, Consumer Reports says it could be the anti-aging power of fiber. That's when Live at 4 continues.
Here's a look downtown Madison from our Edgewater Skycam. Another gray day, but maybe a little sun tomorrow. Well, most of us know that getting plenty of fiber can help keep our digestive system in good working order.
Fiber has many more health benefits. As Amy Reed and Consumer Reports reveals, fiber could even be the key to staying youthful longer.
In the battle against aging, an often overlooked ingredient to staying healthy and living longer may be the fiber that's locked in this little bean. In a 2016 study, older people who ate fiber-rich diets were 80% more likely to live longer and stay healthier than those who didn't.
You need to get 25 to 30 grams of dietary fiber every day, and most Americans don't get that much.
By eating foods like beans, vegetables, fruit, nuts, and whole grains, fiber can work its anti-aging magic.
Fiber helps your health in so many ways. It can protect against type 2 diabetes, it helps to lower cholesterol levels, it helps in weight control because it helps you feel full, and of course, it helps your digestive system run smoothly.
And if you're worried about gas or bloating from eating fiber, be sure to take it easy at first.
You shouldn't go from very little fiber to a lot of fiber all at once. Instead, take small steps, just a couple of things a day. For example, you can take regular cereal and high fiber cereal and combine it, or you can have an apple or a handful of nuts instead of chips as a snack, or you can add oatmeal to your smoothie. There are a lot of small ways you can increase your fiber intake.
For Consumer Reports, this is Amy Reed.
All right, Amy, thank you. So up your fiber intake gradually, spread it across meals, and be sure to drink a lot of water at the same time, because without enough water, fiber can actually be constipating, which sort of defeats the purpose.
But as long as you look 10 years younger, who cares, right?
Just don't eat a pound of black beans
Yeah, exactly.
in one sitting. Well, speaking of eating healthier, do you resolve to eat healthier in this new year? How's that going for you?
Yeah, a lot of people did. Angie Horkin from the Wisconsin Beef Council is here to help you get back on track with some healthy beef recipes. That's when Live at 4 continues.
Right now, things are actually looking okay for us on the Beltline. This is a look right at Park Street. As you can see, both east and westbound side seem to be rolling along okay. Westbound, a few brake lights, but speeds seem to be rolling along just fine along the westbound side. Eastbound, though, it'll be reduced a little bit as you get closer to John Nolan, down to about 35 miles per hour, closer to 26, though. The further west you go, and then once you get past Gammon towards Mineral Springs, it's about 60 miles per hour. Near Middleton, a little slowdown right there downtown, but no accidents to report throughout Dane County. Same goes as we bounce up to look closer towards Baraboo, Portage, and Lone Rock into South County. Things look okay right now. Drive times also looking pretty good. We've actually seen a little increase there for the drive time from downtown to Sun Prairie, up to 19 minutes, as average speeds have been reduced just a little bit with more traffic on the roads. Janesville to the Beltline will take you 26 minutes, and then from Middleton to Sauk City, about 16 minutes right now.
All right, Dana, thank you. Well, the clicks have been counted, and the most liked photo on Instagram ever is this brown egg. The post went up January 4th, challenging followers to help it beat the previous record holder. Fast forward nearly 40 million likes, far surpassing Kylie Jenner's birth announcement, which had 18 million likes. People are trying to crack the case and figure out who's behind this mystery post. I love this story.
I do too.
An egg. Well, it's January 15th. How are you doing on that resolution to eat healthier?
Angie Horkin from the Wisconsin Beef Council is here with some well-balanced meals to keep you in the groove. Hi, Angie.
Hi. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
So what do we have here?
So I have two kind of full recipes instead of just a beef item. I've got a complete recipe, super easy weeknight meals, and of course chock full of protein because they use a really lean beef cut. So something you want to look for this time of year if you're counting your calories or your fat grams. And then like a whole grain, a carbohydrate, and a lot of vegetables.
So fiber.
Fiber.
There you go.
Right, 6.7 grams of fiber in the steak with the ginger plum barbecue sauce recipe.
Tell us about
kind
that.
Kind of a stir fry, but I kept my steak whole and I didn't stir fry it. So I marinated top round steak, and round is very lean. One of the leanest cuts you can get. So you need to marinate it for tenderness.
Okay.
It's not ready to cook when you buy it. So I always marinate 24 hours. So you make a ginger plum barbecue sauce. So prepared plum, ginger, garlic, lemon juice, soy sauce, a little bit of ketchup, a little bit of brown sugar. Kind of that's where the barbecue flavors come in. But that lemon juice and soy sauce in this will marinate or will tenderize your steak. So it'll break down the fibers and tenderize it.
So it's over rice and some vegetables?
Use half of this on your steak and then use the other half as more sauce over the dish. And then, I just stir-fried some carrots and some pea pods with it, and serving it over jasmine rice or brown rice would be great, too.
All right, this guy.
So beef and ramen noodle bowls. So if you're like, you want to eat economically also and healthy.
29 cents a pack?
29 cents a pack. So 2 packs of Oriental flavor ramen noodles, and you're going to use that seasoning pack that comes with the noodles to season up your steak. So I just threw 1 top sirloin. I sliced it up and threw it in a baggie, and then added the seasoning packet and some pepper, and then stir-fried it quick. And as I was doing that, I made the ramen noodles in a separate skillet, and I kind of jazzed them up with a little onion, a little garlic, and a little ginger to give them a little more flavor, and then divide them up. It makes 4 servings, and then stir fry your top sirloin. Now, top sirloin's tender, so only a couple minutes.
You don't have to marinate that.
No, just put the seasoning on for flavor. Couple minutes in the skillet.
That's it?
That's all it takes. Yeah, I've been just doing this here now. Flip it around.
Smells great.
I was just going to say, what a great idea to use the seasoning packet sort of as a sauce or a marinade.
Right, and then you can get fancy with toppings, Asian kind of flavored green onions, sesame seeds, little sriracha,
give it a little
if you
heat.
Spice it up. And those are our beef and ramen noodle bowls. So lean, tons of protein, and also quick and easy.
Yeah, absolutely, and a great way to kick off the new year.
Yeah, try some new recipes, some new flavors for the new year. Beeftips.com is our website, and click on As Seen on TV. You'll find these recipes, plus some other great, well-balanced, complete meals.
I was looking at that earlier today. You have a whole bunch of well-balanced recipes. They're great for the whole family.
We have a whole new recipe collection.
Check them out online. Angie, thank you.
Thank you, Angie.
Happy New Year, healthy eating.
Thank you.
We'll be right back. I'm gonna try one of these. get ready for some cold weather.
Yes, our temperatures are going to drop quite a bit tomorrow. Temperature-wise, it'll be close to where we're at actually right now for afternoon highs. We are at 30 in Madison and in Janesville with a bit of a breeze. That breeze coming from the southeast or southwest currently, it feels closer to 24. We may still see some patchy drizzle for us this evening. It's not a major concern, but there are winter weather advisories for the western side of the state from La Crosse all the way down through Platteville and Dubuque. So if you are on the western edge, just keep in mind that roads, especially in the rural areas, may be a little slick over the next few hours.
All right, Dana, thank you. We'll
Thanks,
be right
Dana.
back.